Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Lone Cerberus and welcome back to the Resident Evil Outbreak File 2 walkthroughs. This time we're going to be playing the underbelly scenario, which is the subway scenario in File 2. So, as usual, I'm going to be playing. Mostly on easy, and I'm going to be playing with infinite ammo, so I can talk you through the actual walkthrough. With this being the underbelly scenario, if you don't play as Jim, I would always recommend taking Jim as a partner in either easy or normal. In hard, very hard, it's slightly different, but if you're playing easy or normal, always either play as Jim or take Jim as a partner. And in this case, I'm going to be taking Jim, or I'm going to be playing as Jim.
Yes.
I'm taking Kevin. And I'm going to randomise who I pick as my second partner.
Hi.
George. Right. Easy. Infinity on. Nightmare off. Okay. I'm going to let the cutscene play this time. Right. So the reason you want to play as Jim or have Jim as a partner in this scenario is if you go into the menu, and I'll put the high def on, you'll see that Jim starts with the employee area key, which is in fact a key item, as an important item. So head down and head straight through the door. Now again, depending on the difficulty, will depend on whether you're starting the west or east gate. In this case we're starting in the west gate. Really, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. If you come down to the bottom here, you will find in this corner a hemostat, which you will need, but what you actually need, because I got the corners wrong, is a handgun.
Yo, Jim.
And I need that more than George.
Yes.
So over here, you will find the gate. Head on through the gate. If you're collecting the maps, there is a map on that board there. Obviously, Jim, being an employee of the subway, already knows his way around. There is if you don't bring Jim, or you don't play as Jim,
My word.
you will need to head down to the platform. On the platform you will find a train. Inside the train you will find the employee area key. Regardless of whether you have to go to the train or speak to Jim or play as Jim, you then need to come back to this greenish greyish door and open up the employee area key, the employee passage. Inside the employee passage there are zombies. Take them out. Once you're inside the employee area, head to the men's restroom. and you're looking for this diary or this memo in the corner. That will give you the code to get into the locked locker in the staff room. With that combination,
Let me think.
with that combination, don't try and guess it, because there's, I think, something like 20 or 30 different combinations. Honestly, it's quicker just to go to the men's locker room, the men's restroom, should I say. That gives you a bit of history about the subway, if you're collecting the files. In the break room, you need to head to this locker.
My word. Jim! Well, let me think. Hi.
Enter the combination. Open up the locker. You no longer need the employee key, so drop that. This locker that I've just opened up, only Jim can open it.
Damn it.
It is Jim's locker. If you're creating Molotovs, there is a paper here and obviously a handgun. There is a shotgun shells there as well. I would recommend heading out the door that I've just headed out of, otherwise you will run into zombies. Once you've done that, turn left, then turn immediately right. Follow the passage down to this blue door. Unlock the door, head on through. Head down the stairs. All the way down the stairs. Once you get to this passage, don't be fooled by that zombie. Kill it. Because you will be coming back here a few times. Do not go into this door, you will regret it.
My word.
Head all the way down to the end of the passage. Go through this door into the emergency power room. I am going to swap out my handgun for the Magnum because I can, and because I've got infinite ammo. I'm going to give the handgun back to George. Come round the corner, through the wire mesh, pick up the valve handle. You can't go through the door behind us. Ignore the switch. Ignore this switch for now. We will be coming back, but do not hit it for now. Otherwise, you'll end up electrocuting yourself. Head back out into the passage. Turn right, and when you come to this junction, turn right again. Now, Jim can crawl through these holes,
My word.
and I'm about to show you. It is slightly randomized where you're going to come out, so it's a 50-50 chance whether you come out in the pump room or not. It is a shortcut if you're playing as Jim. Use the valve handle on this hole here, and you will drain the passage. Do not go back through the ventilation hole. You'll end up somewhere completely random. Once you've drained the passageway and drained the water, pick up whatever's in this corner here. Regardless of whatever it is, pick it up and leave the valve handle there. Trust me, it will make sense later. Okay, we've got a zombie that wants to come through the door. This is file 2, so don't go through the door. Because
Someone help me.
you will be attacked by the zombies. Go out into the passageway and pick up the Founder's Emblem Werner. Head back to the power room. Now that you have switched off the water and the water has drained, that switch that I told you not to flip, yeah, you're going to flip it now. So back to the emergency power room. Over here, emergency lever on.
Splendid.
Back out into the passageway. Follow the passage all the way back. Not that passageway. All the way back to the stairwell. And head up the stairwell. So we're going back up the stairs.
Word.
Now you can do this next part either way. I just prefer doing it the way that I'm going to show you. So we're going to head back to the platform. And we're gonna head down onto the platform itself. This is where you'll get a cutscene introducing the megabyte. Right. Regardless, put the emblem in there and head back. Oh no, of course you don't get the megabyte until you... Not yet, anyway. So put the emblem in there. Head back up to the tower. And
My life is shit.
you are heading for this room here, the breaker room. So to get there, you head down the passage, first passage on your left, keep going, turn right, and then it's the one that says switchboard or breaker room. In the breaker room, you're going to find a few handy things. So you're going to find
Over there.
a piece of paper that tells you about the electronic lock. You'll find a green herb, a blood pack, a warning that tells you everything you need to know, and an alcohol bottle if you're making Molotov cocktails. What you're mainly coming in here for, though, is this switchboard here. You need to make everything equal 10, so...
Hey you! Hey you!
you know, it's a really, really, really hard puzzle making everything equal 10. To be honest, on hard and very hard it can actually be. But once you've turned it to, or made everything on 10, the power is back on. Once the power's back on, depending on which way you're doing things, you can either now go down to the train and put the emblem in its place, or if you're doing it this way round, which is honestly slightly quicker, you can now head to this door here. The warehouse, or the storage room, is actually locked, electronically locked. What you're after in here is the repair tape. Grab the repair tape. There are some shotgun shells, and if you're playing as Mark, up there's an assault rifle, but you can only grab it, I think you can only grab it if you're Mark. Yes, because you need to move this box. If you're playing as Jim, you can crawl through this vent here. That'll take you into a storage room that only Jim can access. Now, it might look familiar because it's the same room from File 1 and the university, which might give you a clue as to where the subway actually is.
Let's proceed.
As I say, coming back out though, it's completely randomised where you're going to end up. So I haven't ended up back in the first storage room. I've ended up here, where I now have to go back to the stairs, making sure I have the repair tape with me, which I do. George has a handgun. Let's see if I can give. Well, Kevin's actually got his 1911. Once you're down the stairs, take the first left. Again, taking out any zombies along the way. There's something there because he's turboing. Okay, so you're coming back to the pump room. Once you're in the pump room, head straight forward. Wait for the camera to change location, and use the repair tape on that on that hole, on that crack. Once you've done that, head back up the stairs. Grab the valve handle, which is why I told you to leave it in the corner there. And then use the valve handle on the hole. You've switched back. You've now turned back on the firefighting equipment. Head back up the stairs. Do not go onto the platform yet, though. So you're going to head back up the steps. So up the steps.
Let me think.
Okay, I'm now going to stand on the west concourse. And you'll understand why. If you look right above Jim right now, just while we wait, you'll see a sign for Rhodes Hill. Rhodes Hill is where Resident Evil 9 will be taking place. So what I'm waiting for here is a train. And you'll... yeah, Kevin's using his 1911, that's fine. So I'm waiting for a train. Quite literally waiting for a train now. And you'll know when it's coming. You know when it's coming because a cutscene will play. If you want to be cocky, you can stand here waiting for the train, but I wouldn't recommend it. So this is the cutscene that introduces the fleas, the big fleas, the bites. If you happen to find yourself on the platform when the train starts its journey, or you get the cutscene for the train, if you come into the subway car, you will actually be safe.
I think. Hey, you! Hi. Hey, you!
What useless thing? No, not give me a useless thing. It's just a case of waiting now.
This sucks.
There we go. That's the train that we were waiting for.
What happened?
What happened?
What's wrong?
Oh, snap. I think...
Okay.
Train arriving soon. Train arriving soon.
Yeah.
Now, because we already put the water back on, the sprinkler system back on, it immediately goes to that cutscene and puts the fire out. Even though it's an oil fire and water get... Okay, anyway. After the cutscene has played, regardless of where you are, make your way down to the platform. You will now be fighting fleas. And they are relentless. However, Jim has a little bit of an advantage. If a flea latches onto you, if you do Jim's special move, which is play dead, they will actually let go. It also sometimes works with Yoko as well. But go along, and by that train you'll find the silver emblem. Pick it up. And head back to this train car. Now, depending on the difficulty will depend on what weapon you find here. On easy it's a shotgun. On most other difficulties I think it was a handgun. Head to where you're going to put the connector. That unlatches the car. Head into the subway car itself and head to the driver's compartment. We are not done yet. If you're playing as the player that gets kidnapped by the Megabyte, you start with a slight advantage in that you're facing off against it straight away. If, however, like George and myself, you're still on the train, you need to come out of the platform, turn left, drop down onto the tracks, avoid the fleas, and head into the tunnel. In the tunnel you're going to find the Megabyte. Kill it. If you're playing on hard or very hard, it's usually here where you'll find the employee passage key. You won't see the Megabyte, you won't see the final boss until this point though. Once you've killed the Megabyte, the boss, head back out onto the platform, get onto the train. Don't stand on the platform, actually get on the train itself. And then that will be the end of the level. If you miss the train, there is another route to finish the level. But I won't be playing that in this playthrough. Get on the train. Excuse me. And then wait for the end. Make sure you run forward enough so that the other two players get on, or the other two NPCs get on, so you get maximum points.
I'm the only one around here that knows anything about the subway. They think we can get out of town this way? Shit. The subway don't go nowhere but down.